This is a question from computer networks. The encoding technique used to transmit the signal in Giga Ethernet technology over fiber optic medium is differential Manchester encoding, non-return to zero encoding, 4B/5B encoding, 8B/10B encoding. So 8B/10B encoding is the encoding technique used to transmit the signal in Giga Ethernet technology over fiber optic medium. This scheme is used for byte synchronization, and the encode decode scheme where it transmits 8 bit as 10 bit code group. This is what is meant by 8B/10B encoding. The feature of this scheme is low cost implementation design. So it is low cost and a good transition density for easy clock recovery. So it is used by Giga Ethernet technology over fiber optic medium. So option D, 8B/10B encoding is the right choice. This is a question from artificial intelligence. Which of the following is an unsupervised neural network? RBS, Hopfield, backpropagation, Cohonen. So Cohonen is a self-organizing feature map, which is a type of artificial neural network that is trained using unsupervised learning. Backpropagation is a common method of training artificial neural networks. A Hopfield network is a form of recurrent artificial neural network. So based on the options, option D, Cohonen is the right choice. This is a question from compiler design. In compiler technology, reduction in strength means replacing runtime computation by compile time computation, removing loop variant computation, removing common sub-expression, replacing a costly operation by a relatively cheaper one. So option D, replacing a costly operation by a relatively cheaper one is called strength reduction. Some example of strength reduction are exponentiation is replaced by multiplication, multiplication is replaced by addition. These are some examples. So multiplication is replaced by addition. This is an example of strength reduction. Now, based on the options, option D is the right choice. This is a question from operating system. The following table shows the process in the ready queue and time required for each process for completing its job. This is the process and this represents the time. If round robin scheduling with 5 milliseconds is used, what is the average waiting time of the process in the queue? And 4 options are given. Let's try to solve it. So this is the process and the time associated with it. Now let's draw the Gantt chart first. So this would be the Gantt chart. Now let's write the processes. P1 has 10, P2 has 5, P3 has 20, P4 has 8, P5 has 15. And let's write the ready queue here. So initially process P1 comes. So P1 is in the ready queue and P1 is placed here. And the time quantum given is 5 milliseconds. So P1 executes for 5 milliseconds. Now it goes. So this will become 5. Now P2 comes into play. P2 execute for 5 milliseconds. Now it becomes 10. So P2 is now completed. Now we have P3. P3 execute for 5 milliseconds. So it becomes 15. Now we have P4. It executes for 5 milliseconds. We have 3 more remaining here. Now P5. It executes for 5. Now we have 10 remaining here. Now again P1 executes. We have completed P1 at 30. P2 is not needed. Now P3 executes for 5 more milliseconds. We have 35. So we have 10 here. Now 10 more remaining is there for P3. Now P4 runs for 3 more units. That is 38. Now P4 is completed. Now P5 runs for 5 more unit. So we will have, P5 runs for 5 more unit. We will have 40 3. So we have 5 more units here. Now P3 runs for 5 more units. We have 48. So 5 more units here. P5 completes. We have 53. Then P3 completes. We have 58. This is the execution process. Now we are asked to calculate what is the average waiting time of the processes in the queue. So waiting time of the process is equal to sum of the periods spent in the waiting for ready queue. So waiting time is equal to completion time minus burst time. So waiting time is equal to completion time minus burst time. So for process P1, this is equal to 30 minus 10 because process P1 completes at 30. 30 minus the burst time is 10, which is equal to 20. Now for P2, it is 10. 10 minus 5, which is equal to 5. For P3, it is 58. It is the last process to be completed. 58 minus 20, which is equal to 38. For P4, this is equal to 38, that is this, minus 8, which is equal to 30. Now for P5, this is 53 minus 15, which is equal to 38. So the average waiting time will be the average of these 5 values. So let's calculate the average waiting time. This is equal to 20 plus 5 plus 38 plus 30 plus 38. This is equal to 131 by 5, that is 26.2. This is the average waiting time. So based on the options, option B is the right choice. This is a question from microprocessor. Move BX, AL type of addressing mode is called what? So let's see the answer. Move BX, AL. It means that we are moving the content of AL to memory location whose address is in BX register. So what we do is this register BX. Inside this there is, assume a value 200. So assume the content inside AL is 5. So in the memory what happens is this location 200 to this location 200, this value of 5 will be moved. That is, whatever is the value inside BX register, that memory location will be storing the value of AL. So AL will get the value of 5. So this is a form of register indirect addressing mode. So based on the options, option C is the right choice. This is a question from digital logic. Evaluate X, X or Y, X or Y. So what is the answer to this? We can try the truth table to solve this. So since this is a two variable equation, let's take X and Y. So we will have 4 possible outcomes. We can have X and Y is 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0 and 1, 1. So first of all, X, X or Y. So for same input, it will be 0 and for different input, it will be high or 1. So for these two cases, it will be 1 and for the case for 1, 1 or 0, 0, it will be low, that is 0. Now let's term this as A. Now A XOR Y. So 0 XOR 0 will get 0. 1 XOR 1 we will get 0. 1 XOR 0 we will get 1. 0 XOR 1 we will get 1. This is the final output. So let's see what is happening. So we can clearly see that depending upon the value of X, the final output is defined. If X equal to 0, AX or Y will be 0. So same case here also. Similarly, if X equal to 1, then the both outputs are 1. So we can say that the expression X XOR Y, XOR Y is returning the answer as X. So option C, X is the right choice. This is a question from image processing. Which of the following is true about Z buffer algorithm? Let's see the options. First one, it is a depth sort algorithm. This is false. Z buffer algorithm is a depth buffer and not a depth sort algorithm. So it is depth buffer and not depth sort. Option B, no limitation on total number of objects. Yes, this can be true because there cannot be a limit on the total number of objects. It is only limited by the amount of available computer memory. Limited by memory available. Comparisons of object is done. This is also false as only the depth of object is compared and not the entire object. This is also false. We are comparing depth of object. Depth of object compared. And finally, set buffer is initialized to background color at the start of algorithm. This is also false. No background color is initialized even at the start of the algorithm. And the question is asking about which of the following is true. So option B, no limitation on total number of objects is the right choice. This is a question from digital logic design. What is the decimal value of the floating point number C1D000000? This is hexadecimal notation. Assume we are using 32-bit single precision floating point IEEE representation. So in single precision 32-bit floating point representation, the first bit is sign bit. Next 8-bit represents the exponent. And the next 23-bit represents the mantissa. And it is represented of the form minus 1 power s into 1.m, that is mantissa, into 2 to the power e minus 127. So let's write the binary representation of C1D000000. C is written as 1100, 1 will be 0001, D will be 1101, then we have zeros extending. So the first bit will be this, next 8 bits, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8 will be this, and the next 23 bits will be this. So let's write the representation. Minus 1 to the power s is 1, this is s, this is e, this is m. We have into 1.101 and zeros will be extending up to 23 bits into 2 to the power exponent value. E is 10000011. This is equal to 131. So we have 131 minus 127. This is 4. So this will be 4. Now this is considered as value minus 26. Now based on the options, option C is the right choice. This is a question from USB technology. What is the raw throughput of USB 2.0 technology? So USB 2.0 technology has a maximum signaling rate of 480 megabits per second. This is called high speed or high bandwidth. So based on the options, option A, 480 megabits per second is the right choice. This is a question from operating system. Below is the precedence graph for a set of tasks to be executed on a parallel processing system S. What is the efficiency of this precedence graph on S if each of the tasks T1 till T8 takes the same time and the system S has 5 processors? So it can be seen that along with the sequential execution of T1, T2, there is T3, T6, T4, T7, T5, T8. All these are executing sequentially. T3, T6, T4, T7, T5, T8. And there are 3 parallel processing, that is this, this and this. So with 5 processors, we can execute how many number of processes in 4 unit of time? That is 5 into 4. This is equal to 20. This 4 comes from these 4. So these are anyhow executing sequentially only. So we can execute 20 processes. But here the process that are executing in 4 units of time is 8. That is this n number of processes. They are executing in 4 unit of time. So the throughput will be what? In 4 unit, they are executing 8 processes. But in fact, we could have executed 20 processes. So the throughput will be 8 upon 20 into 100. This is equal to 40%. So option B, 40% is the right choice. This is a question from data structures. How many distinct binary search trees can be created out of 4 distinct keys? So this is a memory based question using formula. So the formula to find out the distinct binary search trees that can be created out of n distinct keys is using the Catalan number, which is equal to 2n Cn by n plus 1. So if we have n distinct keys, using this formula, we can find out the number of distinct binary search trees that are possible. So we are given n equal to 4, 4 distinct keys. So this can be modified into 2n the whole factorial divided by n factorial into n plus 1 the whole factorial. So putting n equal to 4, we get 2 into 4 the whole factorial divided by 4 factorial into 5 factorial. This is equal to 8 factorial by 4 factorial into 5 factorial. Now 8 factorial can be written as 5 factorial into 6 into 7 into 8 divided by 4 factorial into 5 factorial. Cut shorting these two, again we can write 6 into 7 into 8 equal to 2 into 3 into 4. So cut shorting this can rewrite it as 14. So the final answer is 14. Option B is the right choice. This is a question from computer networks. The network protocol which is used to get MAC address of a node by providing the IP address is SMTP, ARP, RIP and BOOTP. So in order to get the MAC address by providing the IP address, the network protocol used is ARP. It stands for Address Resolution Protocol. It converts the given IP address into the MAC address. There is the opposite protocol which converts MAC address to corresponding IP address. It is called RARP, that is Reverse ARP protocol. So based on the options, option B, ARP, Address Resolution Protocol is the right answer. This is a question from compiler design. Which of the following statement is false about peephole optimization? So peephole optimization is a kind of optimization technique in which it is applied to a small portion of the code called window. This is the basic theory. Let's see the options. Peephole optimization is applied to a small part of the code. Yes, it is applied to the small part of the code. It can be used to optimize intermediate code. This is also true. To get the best out of this, it has to be applied repeatedly. Yes, peephole optimization has to be applied repeatedly to get the best. It can be applied to the portion of the code that is not contiguous. This is false. It has to be applied to the portion of code that is contiguous. So the question is asking which of the statement is false. So based on the options, option D is the right choice. This is a question from algorithms. Which one of the following in-place sorting algorithm needs the minimum number of swaps? Quicksort, insertion sort, selection sort, heap sort. The right answer is option C, selection sort. It requires, in the worst case, order of n swaps. Whereas for quicksort or insertion sort or heap sort, in worst case, it requires more than order of n swaps. So based on the options, option C, selection sort is the right choice. This is a question from databases. What is the equivalent serial schedule for the following transaction? We have three transactions and let's try to find out the equivalent serial schedule. We have to find out the dependencies between the transactions. We can have read, write, read, and write dependency. Let's draw the three transactions. We have T1, T2, and T3. Now read Y. Let's see if there is a dependency in T2 or T1. In read Y, there is a dependency to write Y. So T3 to T1, there is a dependency. T3 to T1, there is a dependency. Now read set, there is write set. So T3 to T2 also there is a dependency. Now let's see, there is a dependency from T1 to any other transaction. Read X. Yes, there is a dependency from T1 to T2. Now there is a dependency from T1 to T2. Write X also similarly. Now we need not check the transaction T3 again because to other two transaction it is already having a dependency. Now let's check for T2. For T2, this is T2. For T2 write set, it is not having any other dependency. Now from 1 to 2 there is already dependency, so let's need not check it. Now perform topological sort for this precedence graph. First we take that node which has least incoming edges, so T3 is taken out. Now we remove these two edges. Now the graph will be like this: T1, T2. Now we take out the graph which has least incoming edges, that is T1. Then we take T2. So this is the equivalent serial schedule for the following transaction, that is T3 followed by T1 followed by T2. Now based on the options, option B is the right choice. This is a question from computer organization. Consider a direct mapped cache with 64 blocks and a block size of 16 byte. To what block number does the byte address 1206 map to? And four options are given. It is given block size is equal to 16 bytes. So in one block we can store 16 byte. Number of blocks is equal to 64. The given address is 1206. So let's find out to which block does this address maps to. So to do that, let's divide it by the block size, that is 16, which gives us 75.3. Now this particular address 1206 belongs to block 75. Now to find out the cache block number to which this address maps to, we have to perform this, that is memory block number mode number of blocks. So the memory block number is equal to 75, mode 64. So this is equal to 11. So the block number to which the byte address 1206 maps to is 11. Option C, 11 is the right choice. This is a question from software engineering. A context model of a software system can be shown by drawing a level 0 DFT, level 1 DFT, level 2 DFT, and level 3 DFT. So the context model of a software system can be shown by drawing a level 0 DFT. So it is also known as context diagram. It is designed to be an abstraction view. Showing the system as a single process with its relationship to external entities. It represents the entire system as a single bubble with input and output data indicated by incoming and outgoing arrows. So option A, level 0 DFT is the context model of a software system using which we can represent it. Option A, level 0 DFT is the right choice. This is a question from network security. An example of polyalphabetic substitution is P box, S box, Caesar cipher, Wigner cipher. So what is polyalphabetic substitution? Using more than one alphabet and switching between them systematically to encrypt data is called polyalphabetic substitution cipher. And the example of a polyalphabetic substitution cipher is Wigner cipher. It is a method of encrypting alphabetic text by using a series of interwoven Caesar ciphers based on the letters of the keyword. It is a form of polyalphabetic substitution. So option D, Wigner cipher is the right choice. This is a question from data structures. If node A has three siblings and B is the parent of A, what is the degree of A? So what is degree? It is the number of edges incident on a given vertex. So the information given here is there is a node A and B is the parent of A and A has three siblings. This is the information. But there is no information given about the children of A or if A is an internal node or a leaf node. So no info regarding children of A. Also no info regarding if A is internal or leaf node. So without this information, we cannot identify the degree of A. So option D, none of the above is the right choice. This is a question from computer networks. The IEEE standard for WiMAX technology is WiMAX stands for Worldwide Interoperability for Microwave Access. It is a family of wireless communication standards based on the IEEE 802.16 set standard. It provides multiple physical layer and media access control options. So option A, 802.16 is the right choice. This is a question from databases. Which type of DBMS provides support for maintaining several versions of the same entity? Relational database management system, hierarchical, object-oriented database management system, or network. So the right answer is object-oriented database management system. These allow object-oriented programmers to develop the product, store them as object, and replicate or modify existing object to make new object within the object-oriented database management system. So object-oriented management system provides support for maintaining several versions of the same entity. Option C is the right answer. This is a question from computer graphics. A system is having 8 megabytes of video memory for bit mapped graphics with 64-bit color. What is the maximum resolution it can support? So the maximum file size or the maximum video memory that is possible is 8 megabytes, 8 MB. This is equal to 8388608 bytes. Now it is given that one pixel is of size 64-bit, which is equal to 8 bytes. Now based on this, let's try to find out the maximum resolution it can support. So Option A, 800 into 600. 800 into 600 into 8 byte. This is equal to 384,0,0,0,0. This is less than, let's assume this as M. So this is supported. But the question is maximum resolution. Second one is 1024 into 768 into 8. This is equal to 6291456. This is also less than M. Third one is 1280 into 1024 into 8. This is equal to 104,85760. This is greater than M. So this is not the answer. Now D, we have 1920 into 1440 into 8. Since this itself is greater than the maximum video memory, this value also is greater than the maximum video memory. So this is also not the right answer. So the maximum resolution is this value because option A is less than the value of option B. So option B is the right choice. This is a question from microprocessor. What is the meaning of RD bar signal in Intel 8151A microprocessor? We have options as read when it is low, read when it is high, write when it is low, read and write when it is high. So RD stands for read. Now this pin will become active only when the value of RD, the whole bar, is set to 1. This happens when the RD value is 0. So 0 bar will become 1. So this is an active low enabled input. So option A, read when it is low, is the right answer. Option A is the right answer. This is a question from operating system. If the page size in a 32-bit machine is 4 kilobyte, then the size of the page table is, and 4 options are given. So let's assume logical address is 32-bit and physical address is also 32-bit. We are given page size is equal to 4 kilobyte, which is equal to 12 bit in representation, that is 2 to the power 12. Now the formula to calculate size of page table is equal to number of entries in page table multiplied by page table entry size. This page table entry size is usually equal to the number of frames, that is number of frames. This is usually, since no other information is given, we can assume that. So let's find out the number of entries in page table. We have the logical address space as 32-bit. It is split into two parts. This is the page offset. Since 4 kilobyte is the size of a page, then for a page offset it requires 12-bit. Now to find out a particular page, we require 20-bit. So the number of entries in page table will be 2 to the power 20, because to identify one particular page we require 20-bit. So number of entries in page table will be equal to 2 to the power 20 multiplied by page table entry size is assumed to be the number of frames. So since we are having the physical address and logical address as same, we are having 20-bit here also. This logical address and physical address is same. So for physical address also, the page size and frame size are same. So here also it is 12-bit, and here to identify one frame we require 20-bit. So this multiplied by 20 bits. This is approximately equal to 4 MB. So based on the options, option C, 4 megabyte is the correct answer. This is a question from operating system. If the page size in 32-bit machine is 4 kilobytes, then the size of the page table is. So given logical address is 32-bit. Let's assume physical address is also 32-bit. Now page size is given as 4 KB. So the formula to find the size of page table, that is page table size, is equal to number of entries in page table multiplied by page table entry size. Page table entry size. So let's calculate the number of entries in page table. So the number of entries in page table is equal to the number of pages. So we have how many pages here? It is given as logical address space is 32-bit and page size is 4 kilobyte. So we have 12-bit here. So remaining refers to the page offset. This is a question from theory of computation. A problem whose language is recursive is called what? So the class of recursive problems are called Turing decidable. Turing decidable. They are said so because the problems which are belonging to the class of recursive languages, there exists a Turing machine which will accept all the strings that are belonging to that language and will reject all the strings that are not belonging to the language. So such languages are said to be Turing decidable. Now that is for recursive languages we have Turing decidable. Now for those languages which are recursively enumerable we have Turing recognizable. So for Turing recognizable, what happens is there is a Turing machine which will accept all the strings that are belonging to the recursively enumerable language, but it may not be necessary that it will halt on inputs which are not belonging to it. It can either halt it or it can forever loop. So such class of languages are called Turing recognizable. So the question here is a problem whose language is recursive is called what? So it is called Turing decidable. So option D, decidable, is the correct answer here. This is a question from operating system. In a system using single processor, a new process arrives at a rate of 6 processes per minute. And each such process requires 7 seconds of service time. What is the CPU utilization? So the important points to remember here is that we are using a single processor. So at a time only one process is served. We can assume that. Now in 60 seconds we have 6 processes arriving and each process require 7 seconds. So CPU utilization is equal to amount of time CPU used divided by total time. Here total time is calculated for 1 minute. So we have total time equal to 60 seconds. We are getting 1 minute because we are told that in 1 minute 6 processes arrive and each process require 7 seconds. So amount of time CPU is used is in 1 minute we are calculating. So for 6 processes it requires 7 seconds. So we have 42 seconds of used CPU time in 1 minute. So we have 42 seconds divided by 60 seconds. This is equal to 0.7. So utilization in percentage would be 70%. So option A, 70% is the right choice here. This is a question from web technology. In HTML, which of the following can be considered as a container? So a container tag in HTML is one which has both opening and closing tag. They are called container because they can contain something such as divs or paragraphs or something which can be contained inside the container. Let's see the options. Option A, select. It is not the right choice. Select is used as a drop down option. Value is not a valid HTML tag. An input tag. This input is used to accept some input from the user. So this is also not a container. Whereas body is actually a container with the following syntax. It has both opening as well as closing tag, and it can contain some data or other tags within it. So option D, body, is the right choice. This is a question from software engineering. The above figure represents which one of the following UML diagram for a single session of an online chat system. So we have an login, we send, then we log out. So the question is, which is the UML diagram corresponding to this? Option A, package diagram, activity diagram, class diagram, or sequence diagram. So the correct answer here is option B, activity diagram. Activity diagram is basically a flow chart to represent the flow from one activity to another. The activity can be described as an operation on the system. So this is an activity diagram because initially we are doing the login activity, then we are doing the sending activity, and then we are logging out. This can be represented as activities. Now, why it is not a sequence diagram? Because a sequence diagram shows objects in interaction arranged in time sequence. Here we are not representing any time sequence. And it is not a class diagram because a class diagram is a type of static structure diagram that describes the structure of the system by showing the system's classes, their attributes, the operations, and the relation among the objects. All these are not being represented in this current UL diagram. So option B, activity diagram, is the correct answer here. This is a question from databases. Which normal form is based on the concept of full functional dependency? A functional dependency X implies Y is said to be fully functional dependent if any attribute A from X is removed, then X determine Y is not held. So this is the basic concept of fully functional dependency. So a fully functional dependency is a state of database normalization that is similar to the second normal form. It means that the schema should meet the requirements of first normal form as well as all non-key attributes are fully functionally dependent on the primary key and there is no partial dependency on the candidate key. So based on these concepts, we can say that the normal form, which is based on the concept of fully functional dependency, is option B, second normal form. This is a question from digital logic design. In Boolean algebra, the rule x plus y into x plus z is equal to what? So let's try to expand it and find the answer. We are given x plus y into x plus z. Expanding, we will get x into x plus x into z plus y into x plus y into z. This is in turn equal to x plus xz plus xy plus yz. Now we can take x common from these three terms. So x is taken as common. We have 1 plus z plus y plus yz. Now this will in turn be 1 because of this one. And we are performing OR operation here. So we'll get x plus yz. So based on the options, option B, x plus yz is the right choice. This is a question from digital logic design. In an RS flip-flop, if the set line is set to high and the R line, that is the reset line, is set to low, the state of the flip-flop is what? This is a memory-based question, and if we know the truth table of the SR flip-flop, we can easily answer it. So let's draw the truth table. We have S, we have R, and this is the Qn. This is the output. So we have 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, and 1, 1. For 0, 0, there is no change in the output. For 0, 1, so set line is set to 0, so the output will be 0. For 1, 0, the set line is high, so the output will be 1. For 1, 1, we are having an invalid state because we cannot set and reset at the same time. Now, the given question is set line is set to high. So this or this would be the criteria, and the reset line is set to low. So this is the required condition. So what we are having as the output is 1. So the state of the flip-flop is set to 1. So option A, set to 1, is the right answer. In which layer of the network architecture the secure socket layer SSL is used? So SSL is defined as operating over some reliable transport layer, that is operating over some reliable transport layer. This places the SSL in application layer protocol in the TCP IP reference model. In TCP bar IP model, it is in application layer, whereas it is in the presentation layer in OSI model. So option D, presentation layer, is the correct answer here. This is a question from computer graphics. What is the bitrate of a video terminal unit with 80 characters per line and 8 bits per character and a horizontal sweep time of 100 microseconds? It includes 20 microseconds of retrace time. So we are given a monitor, and in a single line, that is this single line, assume there are 80 characters and one character has got 8 bits. To start from here till here and then come back, that is, it is saying that including the retrace time, it requires 100 microseconds. So the bit rate in terms of seconds is being asked. So we have 80 characters and 8 bit per character. So in a single line, we have 640 characters, 640 bits. That happens in 100 microseconds. So in 1 second, we can have 640 divided by 100 microseconds. This would equal to 6.4 megabits per second. So option B, 6.4 megabits per second, is the right answer. This is a question from software engineering. Black box software testing method focuses on boundary condition of the software, control structure of the software, functional requirement of the software, independent path of the software. Black box testing is used to check the functionality of the software without getting involved in the internal structure of the software. That is, the tester does not know how the internals of the software works. It is also used with the functionalities including incorrect or missing functions, interface errors, errors in data structures or external database access, etc. In general, it is used to test the functional requirements of the software. So option C, functional requirement of the software, is the correct answer here. This is a question from operating system. Bellardi's anomaly means, and 4 options are given. This is actually a theory based question. So if you know the concept of Bellardi's anomaly, we can easily answer it. So Bellardi's anomaly is a situation where increasing the number of page frames allocated to a process will increase the number of page fault instead of decreasing it. So this generally occurs in FIFO based page replacement algorithms. So the general idea is that when pages allocated is increased, page fault should ideally decrease. But Bellardi's anomaly is an exception, and in Bellardi's anomaly, when pages allocated is increased, page fault also increases. So let's see the options. Option B, page fault rate may increase on increasing the number of allocated frames. This is the right answer. Option B is the correct answer. This is a question from matrices. If A and B are square matrices with the same order and A is symmetric, then B transpose AB is what? Since A is symmetric, A transpose is equal to A. This is one basic property. Some other properties that we have to understand is A transpose, the whole transpose equal to A, as well as AB, the whole transpose is equal to B transpose into A transpose. Now, the question is B transpose AB is what? Let's check the transpose. B transpose AB, the whole transpose. So based on this property, we can say that this is equivalent to B transpose A transpose B transpose the whole transpose. So we can write it as B transpose, since it is already given A is symmetric, A transpose is equal to A. So we can write it as A, and B transpose the whole transpose is essentially B. So we are getting this. Now we have taken the transpose of this matrix, but we are getting the same matrix. So this means that it is similar to A transpose is equal to A. So this means that B transpose AB is symmetric. Option B is the right choice. This is a question from Java programming. Find the output of the following Java code line. We have system.out.println math.floor of minus 7.4. So in Java programming, floor function, it would return the lower limit of a given number. For example, if you are having 8.2, then floor would return value 8. Here we are given minus 7.4. So the lower limit of negative number, since we are having negative number, it will return minus 8. So based on the options, option B minus 8 will be the right answer. This is a question from computer networks. One SAN switch has 24 ports. All 24 supports 8 gigabit per second fiber channel technology. What is the aggregate bandwidth of that SAN switch? So a SAN switch is a fiber channel switch. So SAN switch is a fiber channel switch. It is compatible with the fiber channel protocol. It checks the data packet header, determines the computing devices of origin and destination, and sends the packet to the intended storage system. It has a non-blocking architecture. Non-blocking architecture, which includes connections for speed support for all ports to provide a high performance system with aggregate bandwidth. So it is given that it has 24 ports, each with 8 gigabit per second. So we have 24 into 8, which is equal to 192 gigabits per second bandwidth. The aggregate bandwidth is option D, 192 gigabits per second. This is a question from computer organization and architecture. Two control signals in a microprocessor which are related to direct memory access are, and four options are given. We have interrupt request and interrupt acknowledgement, read or write signal, S0 and S1, hold and hold acknowledgement signals. So the correct answer is option D, hold and hold acknowledgement. So hold signal, it is used to request the access to the bus and for other DMA events. So request access for DMA and other events. The request is placed to the microprocessor, and HLDA is the acknowledgement for hold. Acknowledgement for hold signal. It indicates whether the hold signal is received or not. Hold and HLDA are used for the control signals of DMA operation. Option D is the right answer here. This is a question from programming. Consider the following pseudocode. We are given x equal to 1, I equal to 1, while x less than or equal to 500, x equal to 2 to the power x, I equal to I plus 1. We have to find out the value of I at the end of the pseudocode. So initially x equal to 1, I equal to 1. Now this loop enters x is less than 500, 2. So this is true. So here x becomes 2 to the power x, which is equal to 2, and I is getting incremented to 2. Now this 2 is less than 500. So x becomes 2 to the power 2. We have 2 power 2, which is equal to 4, and I becomes 3. Now 4 less than or equal to 500, we have x equal to 2 to the power 4, which is equal to 16. We have I equal to 4. Now 16 is less than 500. We have x equal to 2 to the power 16 and I is equal to 5. Now 2 power 16 is greater than 500. So the loop breaks. So at the end we have I is equal to 5. So option B, 5 is the right answer here. This is a question from computer organization. If a microcomputer operates at 5 megahertz with an 8-bit bus and a newer version operates at 20 megahertz with 32-bit bus, then the maximum speedup possible will be approximately what? So either with respect to the bandwidth or clock rate, we can find out the speedup. With respect to bandwidth, we can have 32 by 8. This is new and this is old. We can achieve a speedup of 4. With respect to the clock rate, we can achieve 20 upon 5. New upon old. Here also we are achieving 4. So we are having max of 4 comma 4. It will be equal to 4. So increasing the bandwidth aims to achieve maximum speed up. Suppose we have a memory intensive program, then increasing the bandwidth becomes critical, whereas for a CPU intensive process, increasing the clock speed becomes critical. So the maximum speed up possible here is option B, 4. 4 is the correct answer. This is a question from computer organization. The search concept used in associative memory is parallel search, sequential search, binary search, or selection search. So associative memory is suitable for parallel searches and it is used where search time needs to be minimized. So search time has to be minimized or reduced. It requires hardware support like comparators, multiplexers, etc. They are required to implement the associative memory and it is usually present in the form of banks, and a fixed length block from each of these banks can be read simultaneously. So parallel search is the search concept used in associative memory. Option A, parallel search is the right answer. This is a question from compiler design. Which variable does not drive a terminal string in the grammar? So we have S, A, B or C as the non-terminals here. So S can derive AB, A can derive A, and B can derive B. So in turn S can derive a string AB. So S is not the right answer. Now A can derive A. So this is also not the right answer. B can derive B. This is also not the right answer. Here the non-terminal C is not deriving anything. So it is the variable that does not drive a terminal string in the grammar. Option C, C is the correct answer here. This is a question from Java programming. In Java, after executing the following code, what are the values of x, y, and z? Initially, y equal to 10 and z equal to 12. And the operation that is to be performed is y plus 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 z plus plus. So we are performing the post increment operator. So the basic concept behind a post increment operator is like this. Suppose we are performing y plus plus, that is z equal to y plus plus. This is just a sample. So we perform z equal to y equal to y plus 1. This is how this statement gets executed. Now similarly, we can write x equal to y plus 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 z plus plus as x equal to y plus z, then y equal to y plus 1, z equal to z plus 1. This is how this statement will be executed. Now initially y equal to 10 and z equal to 12. Now x will be y plus z, which is equal to 22. Then y will be incremented by 1, so it becomes 11. Z will be incremented by 1, which becomes 13. So the values of x, y, z are 22, 11 and 13. Option D is the correct answer here. This is a question from computer networking. The broadcast address for IP network 172.16.0.0 with subnet mask 255.255.0.0 is. Actually, this is a bit of a confusing question because it doesn't mention whether we have to do direct or limited broadcast. So let's try to solve this. So given the IP address is 172.16.0.0. Now we perform AND operation with the subnet mask. We have 255.255.0.0. This will give us 172.16.0.0. So if you have to calculate the broadcast address, then all bit of the subnet ID in host portion will be set to 1. That is this part. So it will be 172.16.255.255. So based on the options, option B is the right answer here. This is a question from databases. Which RAID level gives block level stripping with double distributed parity? And 4 options are given. So RAID stands for redundant array of independent disks. Redundant array of independent disk. RAID is a technology that is used to increase the performance or reliability of data storage. There are various levels of RAID that is performed. So RAID 0 involves stripping. RAID 1 involves mirroring. RAID 2 involves having code for error detection. RAID 2 involves byte level stripping with dedicated parity bit. With dedicated parity bit. RAID 4 involves block level stripping with block level stripping and 2 block of parity. That is block level stripping plus 2 parity block. RAID 5 involves block level stripping with distributed parity. And RAID 6 involves block level stripping with double distributed parity. Block level stripping plus double distributed parity. Double distributed parity. So based on the options, option C, RAID 6 is the right answer here. This is a question from digital logic design. The output expression for the following gate network is, and 4 options are given. So let's try to find out. The output of this AND gate is, we have two inputs x and y. We have xy, and for this AND gate is x bar, y bar, and this is performing an OR operation. So ultimately we will have xy plus x bar, y bar. This is the final answer. So based on the options, option A, xy plus x bar, y bar is the correct answer. This is a question from data structures. Number of comparisons required for an unsuccessful search of an element in a sequential search organized fixed length symbol table of length L is. So in sequential search, in order to find a particular element, we search each element of the list or the table sequentially until the desired element is found. So for an unsuccessful search, we have to traverse the whole length of the symbol table to finally reach a conclusion that the searched element is not there and it has to be done sequentially. So in case of unsuccessful search, the element would not be present and we have to search till the last of the list of length L. So the number of comparisons would be L. So option A, L is the right answer. So in sequential search, if we have n element list, best case is order of 1 or constant time, because in the first search itself we are able to find out. Worst case is order of n, because we have to traverse till the end of the list. Option A, L is the right answer. This is a question from operating system. Consider a 32-bit machine where 4-level paging scheme is used. If the hit ratio of the TLB is 98% and it takes 20 nanoseconds to search the TLB and 100 nanoseconds to access the main memory, what is the effective main memory access time in nanoseconds? So it is given that it is 4-level paging scheme. We are using a TLB also. So first let's understand what is TLB. TLB stands for translation look aside buffer. It is used to store the recently used translations of virtual to physical address, and it is used to speed up the memory access. So initially when a virtual address is requested, it hits the TLB, and if the hit is a success, then directly we can get the physical address, and within one main memory access time we can access the particular page. If it is a miss, then we have to go into the 4-level paging scheme to access it. So based on this concept, let's try to calculate the answer. Assume C to be the TLB access time and M to be the main memory access time. So effective memory access time, EMAT, is equal to H, refers to the TLB hit ratio, into time to access the TLB, so that we will get the physical address. Then from there, the time to access the main memory, that is one main memory access time. Now if it is a miss, then what happens is 1 minus H into, since it's a miss, we have already searched the TLB, so we have TLB access time plus, then we have to perform 4-level paging to find the particular physical memory, then again we have to access that particular address in the main memory. Since there is 4-level, we have total 5 main memory access time. So if it is n level multi-page, in general it requires n plus 1 main memory access. So here we have C plus n plus 1 times main memory access time. Now this is equal to 0.98 into 20 plus 100 nanoseconds plus 0.02 into 20 plus n is 4, so 5 times into 100 nanoseconds. This would give out the answer as 0.98 into 120 plus 0.02 into 520. This is equal to 128 nanoseconds. So option B, 128, is the correct answer here. This is a question from computer networks. Data is transmitted continuously at 2.048 Mbps for 10 hours and we have received 512 bit errors. What is the bit error rate? So it is given bandwidth is equal to 2.048 Mbps and it is done for 10 hours. So let's calculate the total data transmitted. Total data transmitted. This is equal to 2.048 into, since it is megabits, 10 to the power of 6. This is for 1 second. So for 1 minute we have into 60. Then for 1 hour we have into 60. Then for 10 hours we have 10. So this is the total amount of bit that is transmitted. Solving it, we will get 2048 into 36 into 10 to the power of 6 bits. Now we have received 512 error bit. So bit error rate is equal to 512 divided by 2048 into 36 into 10 to the power of 6. This is equal to 6.9 into 10 to the power of minus 9. So based on the options, option A, 6.9 into e to the power minus 9 is the right answer. This is a question from software engineering. Warner diagram enables the analyst to represent what? Class structure, information hierarchy, data flow, or state transition. So in Warner diagram, it is a kind of hierarchical flowchart that allows the description of the organization of data and procedures. It enables the analyst to represent information hierarchy in a compact manner. So this is just a sample example of a Warner diagram taken from Wikipedia. So in the initial Wikipedia page, we have different hierarchies. We can have top section, the body, and the end section. And within the top section, we have introduction, table of contents. Within the body, we have a number of sections. Then in the end section, we have C also references external links. Within the body, we can again have heading and text. So this essentially represents a information hierarchy. That is, it forms a tree structure. This will be sort of root. Then there are different subtrees, and again there are subtrees. So it forms a information hierarchy manner. So it enables the analyst to represent information hierarchy in a compact manner. So based on the options, option B, information hierarchy, is the correct answer here. This is a question from computer networks. Lightweight directory access protocol is used for routing the packet, authentication, obtaining IP address, domain name resolving. So LDAP, that is lightweight directory access protocol. It is used as a client-server protocol used for accessing and managing directory information. So we are using it to access and maintain directory information. LDAP is like an information model. It helps to keep track of information stored in directories and the structuring of information. The information includes the entries of users comprising of real-world concepts, objects, etc., which is a collection of attributes with type and value. These entries are organized in a tree-like structure using the directory information tree. So it uses a directory information tree. LDAP is useful for the purpose of authentication. As it is kept in one place, all the information of a particular user, including his contact details, login, passwords, permissions, etc., can be saved. So lightweight directory access protocol is used for authentication. Option B is the right answer here. This is a question from databases. In functional dependency, Armstrong inference rule refers to what? So Armstrong inference rule refers to a set of inference rules used to infer all the functional dependencies on a relational database. It has three basic axioms. The first one is axiom of reflexivity. So it says that if y is subset of x, then x determines y. Second one is augmentation. If x determines y, then x augmented with z determines y augmented with z. Third one is transitivity. So this means that if x determines y and y determines z, then x determines z. So these are the three basic rules, and based on the options, option B is the right answer. Additional to these three rules, we can have secondary rules derived from the above three rules. They includes union, that is if x determines y and x determines z, then x determines yz. Next one is decomposition. That is if x determines yz, then it can be decomposed into two parts, that is x determines y and x determines z. And the third one is composition. If x determines y and z determines w, then xz can determine yw. So these are the three basic rules. So in the options, option B is matching. This is a question from computer organization. Number of chips 128 cross 8 RAMs needed to provide a memory capacity of 2048 bytes is what? So we have RAMs of capacity 128 cross 8, that is we'll be having 128 rows here, 0 to 127, and how many bits are there? We have 8 bits. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 and 8. So how many such RAM chips needed to be added so that we can get 2048 bytes of RAM? So this is one RAM chip of size 128 cross 8. How many of such should be aligned vertically so that we can get 2048 cross 8 RAM capacity? So the answer is 2048 cross 8 divided by 128 cross 8. So this would give us 16. So option D, 16 is the correct answer here. This is a question from computer organization. Number of chips 128 cross 8 RAMs needed to provide a memory capacity of 2048 bytes. So this is a fairly straightforward question. We are given 128 cross 8 RAM chips and we have to create a memory capacity of 2048 cross 8. So essentially what we can do is 2048 cross 8 divided by 128 cross 8. This can be cancelled out, and 128 and 2048, it would give us 16 cross 1. So we require 16 number of chips. Based on the options, option D, 16 is the right answer here. This is a question from operating system. There are three processes in the ready queue. When the currently running process requests for IO, how many process switches take place? So there is a queue called ready queue. In ready queue, the process which are eligible for running inside the CPU are placed. So this is ready queue, assume. Inside ready queue, there are three processes that are currently available: 1, 2, and 3. P1, P2, and P3. Similarly, there is another queue called block queue. In blocked queue, usually the processes which are requesting for IO are placed. Now, it is said that the current running process is requesting for an IO. So, assume the current running process is P4. So, this P4 is currently running inside the CPU. Now, since it requests for IO, the current state of this process from running will be placed into the block queue, and it will be the current status of that process P4 will be blocked. Now, one process from the ready queue will be taken out and it will be placed inside the CPU, and its state changes to running. So actually one process switch take place, that is, this P4 is switched with P3. We are assuming P3 is the process which is made its state as running. So one process switch take place. As a result, option A, 1 is the right choice. This is a question from algorithms. Let T of n be defined by T of 1 equal to 10 and T of n plus 1 equal to 2n plus T of n, and for all integers n greater than or equal to 1. Which of the following represents the order of growth of T of n as a function? So it is given that T of n plus 1 is equal to 2n plus T of n. So by using substitution method, we can say that T of n plus 1 equal to, we can substitute and find the value of T of n minus 1. We have 2n plus the value of T of n can be found out using the substitution method, that is 2 times, replacing n by n minus 1, we will get 2 times n minus 1 plus T of n minus 1. Now T of n plus 1 can be written as 2n plus 2n minus 1 plus, again substituting the value of T of n minus 1 with n minus 2, we get 2 times n minus 2 plus T of n minus 2. Now again substituting, we will get T of n plus 1 is equal to 2n plus 2n minus 1 plus 2n minus 2 plus 2 times n minus 3 plus T of n minus 3. So continuing till kth iteration. At kth iteration, it will be T of n minus k, and it will stop when n minus k is equal to 1, which implies n is equal to k. This is an important property. So at kth iteration, what happens is T of n plus 1 will become 2n plus 2n minus 1 plus 2n minus 2 plus 2n minus 3 plus etc. T of 1. Now we can take the answer as 2 of n plus 2 of n minus 1 plus 2 of n minus 2 plus 2 of n minus 3 etc. plus 10, because T of 1 is 10. Taking the value of n as a common factor, we can write 2 of n plus n plus n plus etc. till this continues for kth iteration. This has k numbers. Then again minus 2 into 1 plus 2 plus 3 etc. Now this will be equal to 2 times n into k plus, sorry, minus, we have sum of first n natural numbers, that is 2 into n plus 1 by 2. Now we know that n is equal to k from the previous slide. So we can write 2 times n square minus, we can cut 2 and 2, and we can write this as n square minus n. So this is equal to n square minus n in total. So this is of the order n square. So the correct answer here is option C, order of n square. Now we can take it in this format, that is 2n plus 2n minus 2 plus 2n minus 4 plus 2n minus 6 plus etc. till 10. Again, taking 2 as a common factor, we will get 2 outside, then we'll have n plus n plus n plus etc. minus 2 into 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus etc. This is equal to 2 into n square plus 2 into my This is a question from operating system. Which of the following Unix command allows scheduling a program to be executed at specific times? 4 options are given: cron, nice, date and time, schedule. So the correct answer here is option A, cron. Cron is responsible for executing scheduled and recurring commands at specified time, week or month. It is a time-based job scheduler in Unix-like computer operating system. So cron is a time-based job scheduler. So it can schedule jobs based on the times that are given. So let's understand the concept of cron tab. Cron tab stands for cron table. It uses the job scheduler cron to execute tasks. Now the usual Linux format for a cron tab is minute, hour, day of month denoted as DOM, MON month field, and DOW day of week, followed by the command, any command that is to be executed. And this can have values from 0 to 59 for minute, 0 to 23 for hours, 1 to 31 for day of month, 1 to 12 for month field, and day of week is 0 to 6. A sample example of a cron job that is scheduled is 10, then 11, 22, star, 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 slash home, slash backup dot sh. Suppose this is a cron job that is scheduled in cron tab. What does this mean? This means that at every hour, the 10th minute, we have to execute for time 11 or 22. 22 means 10. So star 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 means this can execute every day. So we are executing this back.sh script at 11:10 as well as 22:10 every day. So using cron, we can schedule programs like this. So the correct answer here is option A, cron. This is a question from computer organization. In DMA transfer scheme, the transfer scheme other than burst mode is what? So what is DMA? DMA stands for direct memory access. So using DMA, We can transfer data from IO devices to memory and vice versa without the intervention of CPU. So there are different modes in DMA. One is burst mode. In burst mode, DMA is given complete access to the bus until the data transfer is performed. During this entire period, no other device, including the CPU, can access the data bus. This mode facilitates for high-speed transfer from data devices to memory. So this is burst mode. The other mode is cycle stealing mode. Cycle stealing mode. In cycle stealing mode, DMA periodically steals the machine cycle from the processor without disturbing it. This is done by executing separate instruction and data memory banks that allow external devices to access the memory of the data bank while the CPU fetches instruction from the instruction bank and not letting the CPU being disturbed. So the other technique is cycle stealing mode. Option C, cycle stealing technique is the correct answer here. This is a question from calculus. The nth order derivative of x to the power n is what? So it is given that f of x is equal to x to the power n. So the first order derivative of f of x is n x to the power n minus 1. This is a well-known formula. Now the second order derivative is n minus 1 into n into x to the power n minus 2. So if we continue like this, the nth order derivative of x will be equal to n into n minus 1 into n minus 2 etc. 1 into x to the power n minus n. Now we will get n minus 1, n minus 2 etc. 1 into x to the power 0. This is equal to n minus 1, n minus 2 etc. till 1, which is equal to n factorial. N factorial is 1 into 2 into 3 etc. n minus 1 n. This is what n factorial is and this is similar to that. So n factorial is the correct answer. Option D, n factorial. This is a question from operating system. A total of 9 units of resource type are available and given the safe state shown below, which of the following sequence will be safe? So this is based on the Banger's algorithm. So in order to find which is the safe sequence, we need to construct the need matrix. This need matrix is essentially need is equal to need of I of that particular process is equal to max of I minus used of I. Now this is equal to 5. This is also 5. This is 3 and this is also 3. This is the need matrix. Now let's calculate the currently available resources. So total in used we have 2 plus 2 plus 2. Total we have 6 in used and total is 9. So available resources is equal to total minus used, which is equal to 9 minus 6 is equal to 3. So as of now we have 3 resources. Now let's see each options one by one to see how it can be allocated. Suppose it is allocated to P4. Now what happens in P4 is that once P4 is allocated, it requires 3 more resources. Now we can assume that P4 get its required resources, then P4 execute. So we have given 3 resources to P4 along with 1 resources that is already in use. So once P4 execution is done, we have in available 4. Once P4 is done. Now next, see the next option. We are giving P1. If you're trying to give resources to P1, it requires 5, but we have 4. So we cannot proceed with this format. Similarly, let's see option B. Initially P4 is executed. So following the same as A, P4 after executing we have 4 resources. Then if we try to allocate the resource to P2, again P2 also requires 5. So this also cannot be the safe sequence. Similarly, option C also cannot be the safe sequence. So ideally option D would be the correct answer, but let's see. Now initially we have available equal to 3. Now P3 is given the resources. So P3 requires 3. We have available 3. So we are giving P3 the 3 resources. Upon P3's execution, the available will become 3 plus 2 equal to 5. Now we are giving for P1. P1 needs 5 resources and we have available 5. So this is possible. So after execution of P1, we will have 5 plus 2, which is equal to 7 resources available. We are giving it to P2. P2 has a requirement of 5 resources, so this is also satisfied. So after execution, after giving 5 resources, we'll have 5 plus 1, 6, 6 plus, already we have 2 extra resources, 6 plus 2, 8 is available. So this is possible. Then P4. P4 needs only 3 more resources. So since we have 8, we can allocate 3 resources to P4 also. So following this sequence, that is P3, P1, P2, P4, it is a safe sequence. So option D is the correct answer here. This is a question from probability. 3 coins are tossed simultaneously. The probability that they will fall 2 heads and 1 tail is what? So let's understand the basic formula for probability. Probability of an event E is equal to number of outcomes favorable to E divided by total number of outcomes. So we have 3 coins and each coin can have either tail or head. So the total number of outcomes when the 3 coins are tossed simultaneously is 2 to the power 3. And let's try to explain what are the 8 possible outcomes here. Initially we can have 3 tails or tail, tail, head, or tail, head, tail, or tail, head, head, or head, tail, tail, head, tail, head, 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 tail, and head, head, head. These are the 8 possible outcomes. So from this, we are asked to find the probability that they will fall 2 heads and 1 tail. What is the probability? So 2 heads and 1 tail. This is one such possibility. 2 heads and 1 tail. This is another such possibility. 2 heads and 1 tail. This is another such possibility. 2 heads and 1 tail. Now this is not a possibility. 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 This is also not possibility. This is also not possibility. So the number of favorable outcomes to E is 1, 2, and 3. 3 divided by total number of outcomes is 8. So the correct answer is 3 by 8. Option D, 3 by 8 is the right answer here. This is a question from data structures. The average depth of a binary search tree is what? So first of all, what is a binary search tree? A binary search tree is a node-based binary tree structure which has the following properties. The first property is left subtree of a node has only keys lesser than the node's key. Second point is right subtree of node has always keys greater than node's key. So this makes it sure that the left and right subtree will also be a binary search tree. Also, there should be no duplicate nodes. An example of a sample binary search tree is Assume this is 8. This is the root. So the left subtree will always have values less than the root. This is 5. Now assuming 5, this has 2 and this has value that is less than 8 but greater than 5. So this will be having value 6. This follows binary search tree property. So here assume we have 9. This is a sample binary search tree. So for the root 8, all the values are less than 8. For this root 5, the left subtree has value less than 5 and the right subtree has value greater than 5. But in total, it follows the binary tree structure. Now, the best case depth for a binary search tree is order of log n. Worst case is happening when the tree is skewed, such as 5, 3, 2. This is a worst case scenario. This is if there are n elements, it will be order of n. Now the average case is order of log n. So option C, order of log n is the correct answer. This is a question from C programming. What is the output of the following C code? We have an integer variable index. There is a for loop index equal to 1, index less than or equal to 5, index plus plus. Then we are printing the value of index. Then if index is 3, continue. So the important point to notice here is the concept of continue. So continue is working similar to break except the fact that instead of forcing termination which break does, continue it forces the next iteration of loop to take place and skipping any code in loop after continue. So for the for loop, continue statement causes the conditional test and increment portions of the loop to be executed. So the basic flow diagram for a continue statement is like this. So there is the conditional code, then we are executing the condition check here. If there is a continue statement, it directly moves here, and if the condition is true, we are iterating here. If the condition is false, we are coming here. False condition, true condition. So this is how continue works. Now let's see the code to understand what is the impact of continue. So in this code, continue statement is only working when index is having the value of 3. So to understand what happens in the code, the continue statement does not contain any loop or statement. So basically there would not be any effect on the continue or the execution of the program because the continue is trying to skip whatever that is present after the continue statement in the loop. But since there is no statement after the continue statement has no effect on this program. So it would work as if there is no continue statement. That is, these two are non-existent or non-existent here. So this is simply printing the value of 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So based on the options, option B is the correct answer. This is a question from semiconductors. When n-type semiconductor is heated, what happens? So a n-type semiconductor is created by adding impurities such as phosphorus or arsenic, etc. So this impurity is called the donor atom because it is ready to give a free electron to the semiconductor. In n-type semiconductors, the number of electrons is more than the number of holes. So electrons are measured as the majority charge carriers. Here electrons are majority charge carriers. And there will be holes in the semiconductor. They are referred as minority charge carriers. So if the temperature or heat energy is applied to the semiconductor, what happens is the number of valence electrons gains enough energy to break the bond with the parent atom and they jump into the conduction band. So as a result, the number of electrons leaves the valence band and jumps into conduction band. Then the number of holes are created. As a result, the number of holes increases and the number of electron decreases. So the holes increases while the electron decreases. So option B, number of hole increases while that of electron decreases is the correct answer here. The cyclomatic complexity metric of the following control flow graph is what? So cyclomatic complexity is a software metric. It is used to indicate the complexity of the program. Complexity of program. Cyclomatic complexity is computed using the control flow graph of the program, and the complexity m is then defined as m equal to e minus n plus 2p, where e represents the number of edges in graph, n represents the nodes in graph, and p represents number of connected components. So let's try to find out the cyclomatic complexity of this particular control flow graph. The number of nodes are 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So n is equal to 5. Number of edges are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 minus 5 plus number of connected component is only 1. This is the whole graph that is connected. So 2 into 1, which is equal to 4. So the cyclomatic complexity of this control flow graph is 4. Option B is the right answer here. This is a question from algorithms. Which of the following algorithm design technique is used in merge sort? Greedy, backtracking, dynamic programming, divide and conquer. So the correct answer is option D, divide and conquer. Divide and conquer is an algorithm design technique in which we recursively solve the main problem into subproblems such that the subproblems can be solved in a constant time. Once the solution to the subproblems can be obtained in constant time, then we recursively combine the solutions together to form the solution for the original problem. So this is what happens in divide and conquer. So the first step is recursively divide problem to subproblems. Once the solution to the subproblems can be obtained in constant time, then combine the solution to subproblems to solve original problem. So what happens in merge sort is that the array is recursively divided into two halves till the size of the array becomes 1. So suppose this is an array 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 elements. Then in the first pass the array is split into two parts, and in the second pass it is split into same size of 4 parts. So once we have reached here, we can say that the subproblem's solution can be found in a constant time. That is, the array is having only one value, so that it is already sorted. Once this stage reaches, then it recursively combines the solution and then reaches to the original solution. So Coming to the context of merge sort, once the size of the array becomes 1, then the merge process comes into action and starts merging the array back till the complete array is merged to get the sorted array. So this is the concept of divide and conquer, and merge sort uses divide and conquer technique. This is a question from engineering mathematics. The arithmetic mean of attendance of 49 students of a class A is 40% and that of 53 students of class B is 35%. Then the percentage of arithmetic mean of attendance of class A and B is what? So let's assume the total attendance to be 100, since we are about to calculate it in percentage. Now the formula for mean is sum of observation divided by total number of observations. Now for class A, let's consider the arithmetic mean of attendance of 49 students of class A is 40%. So we can say that mean is equal to 40. Sum of observations we do not know. Sum of observation we do not know. Divided by total number of observation is we are having 49 students. So this implies sum of observation is equal to 40 into 49, which is one value. Let's take that. Now consider the second case. Mean there is equal to 35 and frequency or number of observations is equal to 53. So sum of total observations is equal to 53 into 35. So combined mean of classes A and B is 40 into 49, that is initial mean, plus 35 into 53 divided by total number of observation, 49 plus 53. This will result in 37.4. So the right answer is option D, 37.4%. This is a question from compiler design. Which of the following sentences can be generated by the grammar S derives AS or BA, A derives D or CA? And 4 options are given. Let's see each options one by one. So first one is B, C, C, D, D. So in order to generate B, we have to get S derives B, A. Now again to generate C, we can use this production rule, that is S derives, or continuing the production, we write B and A can generate CA. CA. So again to generate another C, we can use S derives B, C, C, A. Now we have D. We can use A derives D to generate D. B, C, C, D. So the entire string is not generated. So this is not possible. Second one is A, B, B, C, C, A. So S derives A, S. Now A is generated. Now to generate next B, we have to use S derives B, A. S derives A, B, A. Next again we have to generate B. But here the non-terminal that we have is only A, and A can generate only D or C. So this is also not possible because we have to generate second B here. Now option C, S derives AS. Now we have to generate B. To generate B, we can use S derives BA production. So S derives A, B, A. Now to generate C, we can use S derives A, B, C, A. That is this rule. Now to again generate this A, what we can do? We cannot do because A generates D or C and we are only having A as the non-terminal here. So this is also not possible. So ideally option D should be the right choice, but let's see we can derive it or not. S derives AS. Now we have to generate B. So we can write S derives A, B, A. Then we have to generate C. So we can write S derives A, B, C, A. Then we have to generate D, that can be derived A, B, C, D. So option D is the correct answer here. This is a question from computer networks. The Hamming distance between the octets AA and 55 is what? So what is Hamming distance? It is a metric for comparing two binary data strings. While comparing two binary strings of equal length, Hamming distance is the number of bit positions in which two bits are different. So Hamming distance for equal length string is equal to number of bit positions in which two bits are different. And the distance between the two strings A and B is denoted by D of A comma B. Now why Hamming distance is useful? It is used for error correction or error detection when data is transmitted across computer networks. That is one of the major application of Hamming distance. Now let's try to calculate the Hamming distance between the octet AA and 55. So AA can be written as 1010 1010. 55 is 0101. This is 0101. Now let's try to calculate the number of bit positions in which the bits are different. Let's calculate it from here. 01. The bit is different. So 1. This is also different. This bit is also different. This bit is also different. So all the 4 bits here are different. Similarly, this is different. This bit is different. This bit is different. And this bit is different. Similarly, 4 bits are also different here. Total 8 bits are different. So the Hamming distance is option C, 8. How this is calculated is we compare these two. If they are similar, then no issues. If they're different, then the Hamming distance will be 1. Similarly, we are comparing here. So this will be again 1. This will be again 1. So total in total, all the 4 group of bits are different. Here also all the 4 group of bits are different. So 4 plus 4, we have 8. Hamming distance is 8. Option C is the correct answer. This is a question from numerical methods. Given x equal to 0, 10, 16, y is 6, 16, 28. The interpolated value of x equal to 4 using piecewise linear interpolation is what? So piecewise linear interpolation is a simple way of connecting points through straight lines. So equation of line joining the first 2 points is y minus x is equal to 6. Now we are asked to find out the value at x equal to 4. So y minus 4 equal to 6. Y is equal to 10. So the interpolated value x equal to 4 using linear interpolation piecewise is option D, 10. Correct answer is option D. This is a question from operating system. A fast wide SCSI2 disk drive spins at 7200 RPM, that is 7200 rotations per minute, and has a sector size of 512 bytes and holds 160 sectors per track. Estimate the sustained rate of this drive. So let's try to find out the solution. So the number of rotations in 1 minute, rotation in 60 seconds is equal to 7200. So in 60 seconds we have 7200 rotation. In 1 second we can have 7200 divided by 60, which is equal to 120 rotation. So in 1 second the disk will be able to read 120 tracks, because in one rotation it can read one entire track, and one entire track can have 160 sector and each sector holds 512 bytes. So sectors per track is equal to 160. Size per sector is equal to 512 bytes. So disk transfer is asking per second. Disk transfer in 1 second is equal to, in 1 second we have 120 rotation. So in 120 rotation what can happen is it can read 160 sectors having 512 bytes. So in total 98304 bytes are read in 1 second. They are asking for kilobytes. So 9830400 divided by 1024. This is equal to 9600 kilobyte per second. So option B is the correct answer here. This is a question from graph theory. How many edges are there in a forest with V vertices and K components? So what is a forest? It is nothing but collection of trees, or we can say disjoint union of trees. And a tree is undirected graph that is not cyclic, not cyclic. So there is a property that tree with V vertices has V minus 1 edges. So the question here is asked is a number of edges that are in a forest with V vertices and K components. So we can have V minus 1 edge in one tree, that is V1 minus 1. This is the number of edges in one tree. Then for next tree V2 minus 1, for next tree V3 minus 1, and for the kth tree, that is we are having K components. So for the kth component we can have Vk minus 1 edges. This is total is happening K times. K times this is happening. So in effect we can have the total number of vertices is V1 plus V2 plus etc. Vk. This is in effect V plus K times minus 1. That is we can take minus 1 and this minus 1 is repeated K times. So in effect we have V minus K. So the correct answer is option C, V minus K. This is a question from digital logic. How many 3 to 8 line decoders with an enabled input are needed to construct a 6 to 64 line decoder without using any other logic gate? So as an input we have 3 to 8 line decoder with enable, and we require 6 to 64 line decoder. So output or the final decoder should have 64 lines, and we have 8 line output decoders. So in the first level we can have 64 by 8, which is equal to 8 6 to 64 line decoder. Then in the second level we can have 8 by 8, which is equal to 1 more 6 to 64 line decoder. So let's draw a sample diagram to understand. This is 1 3 to 8 line decoder. Now how many we require? We require 64 such output line. So in total we can have to 8 such line decoders, then one more line decoder with 3 input and 8 output is required to select one among the 8 decoders that are present. So this is 8 and this is 1. So in total 1 plus 8 equal to 9 6 to 64 line decoders are required. So option C is the correct answer. This is a question from data structures. The in-order traversal of a tree resulted in this F, B, G, A, D, C, E. Then the pre-order traversal of the tree would result in what? This is actually an ambiguous question because it is not mentioned whether tree is binary tree or binary search tree or anything. If it was a binary tree without the in-order and pre-order, or in order and post order, we cannot find the other traversal. So assuming that this is a binary search tree, I'm repeating, this is an ambiguous question, so we have to make some assumptions. Now, making assumptions that this is a binary search tree, then the in order traversal will be like this. That is, we first follow the left, then we follow the root, then right. Now, based on this property, we can split the traversal into three parts. This would be the left, this would be the root, and this would be the right. We can make an assumption like this. So A will be the root, and we have two subtrees. Again, in the left subtree, we can again split B as the root and F as the left and G as the right. So B and F as left of the B and G as the right of the B. Similarly, C is in the middle, so C becomes the root, D becomes the left, and E becomes the right. Now the tree is constructed. Now perform the in-order traversal. So if you perform the in-order traversal, we first move on to the left, then root gets printed. F, first we print F, then we print B, then we print G. F, B, G, then we print A, then we print D, C, and E. So this is the in-order traversal. So that is the given already in question. Now the question is asking regarding the pre-order traversal. For pre-order, the rule is like this: root, left, right. So first we print the root, we print A, then we move on to the left, then we print B, then we again move on to the left, then we print F, then we come back, then we again print G, then we move back, this is already printed, A is already printed, then we move on to the right. In right, we again see the root C, then we print it, then we go back and print D, then we go back and print E. So A, B, F, G, C, D, E. A, B, F, G, C, D, E. Option B matches with this. So we can say that option B is the right answer here. But again, this is an ambiguous question. This is a question from set theory. Which one of the following is true? And we are given four options. So let's consider the value of R intersection S and the four options. So assume R is this and assume S is this. And R is having 1 and 2 and S is having 2 and 3. So this is R intersection S. Now we are asked to find out which of the option is correct. If option 1 is R intersection S equal to R union S minus R minus S union S minus R. So we have R union S means set of 1, 2, 3 minus R minus S. We have 1 union S minus R. We have 3. Set 1 union set 3. This is equal to 1, 2, 3 minus 1, 3. So we get option A as 2. So R intersection is 2 and we are finding out R intersection as 2. So option A can be the right answer. So but let's explore the other options also. R union S. We have R union S as 1, 2 and 3. This is equal to R intersection S. That means 2 minus R minus S, that is 1 union S minus R, 3. So we are having 2 minus 1 comma 3. 2 in sense set 2. So this is not equal to 1, 2 and 3. So option B is not the right choice. Option A can be one of the option. That is correct. Now R intersection S is equal to R union S minus R minus S intersection S minus R. So R union S is 1, 2, 3 and R intersection S is 1, and R intersection S is 2. Let's draw the diagram once again. R S 1, 2, 3. minus r minus s, that is 1, intersection s minus r, that is 3. So 1, 2, 3 minus 5, we will get 1, 2 and 3. So option B is not correct, option C is also not correct. Now option 4, r intersection s equal to r union s union r minus s. R union s is 1, 2 and 3. R intersection s is only 2. From here itself, this is not correct. Now based on the options, option A is the right choice. This is a question from data structures. A simple table of length 152 is processing 25 entries at any instant. What is the occupation density? So there is a formula to calculate the occupation density. That is, occupation density is equal to number of entries divided by length of symbol table. Length of symbol table. This is equal to 25 divided by 152, which is equal to 0.164. So based on the options, option A is the correct answer here. This is a question from computer organization. Consider a direct map cache with 64 blocks and a block size of 16 bytes. To what block number does the byte address 1206 map to? So it is given that this is a cache which is having a mapping of direct mapped. So block size is equal to 16 bytes. So essentially what happens here is each block of main memory will be mapped onto one particular block in the cache. So in direct map caching, if there is already a block existing there, it will be getting directly replaced. Now the question is 1206 byte address maps to which block? So 1206 by 16, it results in 75.3. So in effect, this is in the 75th block. Now there is a formula to calculate the cache block number. Cache block number is equal to main memory block number divided by, not divided, mode, number of blocks in cache, number of cache blocks. So the main memory block number is 75, number of cache blocks is 64. So we have 11. So in the direct mapped cache, the address 1206 maps to 11. Option C, 11 is the right choice. This is a question from geometry. What is the matrix that represents the rotation of an object by theta degree about the origin in 2D? So in rotation, we rotate the object at a particular angle, say theta, from its origin. So we can understand it by depicting a diagram. Suppose this is the diagram and this is the x and this is the y axis. So initially this is the origin. So initially this is the line. It is at a length r and the point P is represented as P of x comma y. It is at an angle of phi from the origin. Now we are rotating it to this point, that is P dash is x dash y dash. Now this is at an angle theta. Now using standard trigonometric notations, the original coordinate of the point P of x comma y, P of x comma y can be represented as x equal to r cos phi and y equal to r sin phi. This is equation 1 and 2. Same way we can represent the point P dash of x dash comma y dash. This is equal to x dash is equal to r of cos phi plus theta, which is equal to expanding cos of a plus b. In this format, we get r cos phi cos theta minus r sin phi sin theta. This is equation 3. And y dash is equal to r of sin phi plus theta. This is equal to r cos phi sin theta plus r sin phi cos theta. This is equation 4. Now substituting the value of equation 1 and 2 in 3 and 4, we will get what? We will get x dash is equal to x cos theta minus y sin theta, and y dash is equal to x sin theta plus y cos theta. Representing the above equation in matrix form, we can write x dash y dash as taking x comma y outside. This is equal to cos theta sin theta minus sin theta cos theta. This is of the form P dash equal to P into R, where R is the rotational matrix. R is cos theta sin theta minus sin theta cos theta. Now the rotation angle can be positive as well as negative. For positive angle, we can use the above rotational matrix. However, for negative angle rotation, the matrix will be changed as follows. R is equal to cos of minus theta sine of minus theta minus of sine of minus theta cos of minus theta. So again, we can write it as R is equal to cos theta minus sine theta and cos theta. So this is the rotational matrix for negative rotation. So now based on the options, we can say that option A is the correct answer. Here option A is the right answer. This is a question from computer organization and architecture. A processor has 12 cycles to complete an instruction I. The corresponding pipeline processor uses 6 stage with execution times of 3, 2, 5, 4, 6 and 2 cycles respectively. What is the asymptotic speedup assuming that very large number of instructions are executed? So assume we have n instructions. Then for a non-pipelined processor, we can have 12n cycles in total. That is the time required for the sequential execution, 12n. Now time required for the pipeline processor. Time for pipeline processor is k plus n minus 1 into tp. So k represents the number of stage, n represents instructions, and tp is the execution time unit. Here, since we are having only cycles, we are assuming it in cycles. So we can have 6 plus n minus 1 tp, that is 5 plus n tp. Now to calculate the cycle, we have the formula that we take max of all the cycle time. We have max of 3, 2, 5, 4, 6 and 2. So the max is 6. So we take 5 plus n into 6 cycles. Now the speed up obtained is speed up equal to time without pipeline divided by time with pipeline. So time without pipeline is 12n and time with pipeline is 5 plus n into 6. Since the number of instructions are very huge, we can ignore this constant or small value 5. We are asked to find out the asymptotic speedup. So 5 would be a constant and we can ignore. We can write 12n by 6n. So which is equal to 2. So asymptotic speedup is option B, 2. This is a question from microprocessor. Find the memory address of the next instruction executed by the microprocessor 8086 when operated in real mode for CS equal to 1000 and IP equal to E000. So it is given that the microprocessor is 8086. Here the address bus is 20-bit. Address bus is equal to 20-bit. And CS is the base segment and IP is the offset. So to calculate the address, we use this formula: segment into 10H, that is hexadecimal, plus offset. All are values in hexadecimal. So it is given that base segment is equal to 0x1000, that is CS or segment part, and the offset part is 0xe000. Now to calculate the address, we have 0x1000 into 10H or in hexadecimal plus 0xe000. Now this in decimal is 4096 into 10H. This value in decimal is 16 plus the value of E000 in decimal is 57344. This is equal to 122880. Now the value of this decimal is 1E000 in hexadecimal. So the correct answer here is option B, 1E000H. Option B is the correct answer.